Hi, everybody. This is our first live Wednesday talk sessions. I'm quite excited to be having me. We'll be having these every Wednesday at 7 p.m. and I'll be interviewing different ladies and we'll be talking about different topics. Today we are talking to Tabisa Yeni and we're talking about mental health. So in the meantime, she's still sorting herself out on the other end. I've accepted her and she's connecting to the live. I'm just going to read her bio so that you know who she is, and when she eventually comes on, we can kick it off. Our guest, Tabisa Yeni, is born and bred in Durban, and she's a female Bastille, which means she's a mixture of Umxhosa and Umzulu. She's an artist manager, and she manages Uzulu Funk and Gigi Lemaine. Her niche is artists who want to expand their brands into international market, and she has previously managed Moonchild Sunny. She's a poet, which is a part I love. She's a philanthropist. She's an abuse and mental health activist, as well as a creative. She started flirting with the idea of poetry in high school, and she wrote poetry as a mechanism to cope. She has performed for high-profile people and politicians. She has performed on both the Women in IT Awards and All Women Affairs. Her work has been requested by the Poetry Exchange, and she has submitted her work at the Sol Plaatjes European Poetry Awards. She's written tribute programs for our former president, late Utata Nelson Mandela, and our mother of the nation, the late Winnie Madikizela Mandela. She belongs to, she breathes philanthropy, and she likes to say she sucked it from her late mother's breast. And as a result, she was chosen to represent South Africa at the One Young World Order Summit. Tabisa belongs to the YALI, Young African Leaders Initiative Network. She belongs to She Leads Africa and One.org. She is also a Bible school graduate and will be an ordained pastor. And last but not least, she is an official Redefining Beauty ambassador. And I'm so excited to be having this conversation. Thank you to everyone who's joined us. Let me just accept her. How's everybody doing? How's everyone doing? Thank you for joining. This is I was saying, my name is Kamo, Magabane. You're tuned into the Redefining Beauty SA page, and we're just talking about beauty and mental health.
Okay, I think let's begin, even though I'm not visually there, but my voice is there. Shall we just do this rather?
Let me just confirm with everyone that they are able to hear you. Anyone that's joined, please let me know if you are able to hear her very clearly, and then we can just continue. Can you also check on your side that both audio and video are on? Tabs?
Hey.
Can you check also on your side that both your video and audio, sometimes it joins audio only. I don't know how that happens, but yes, Samantha says they can hear you, but I think it's going to work now. It's busy saying connecting on my side. And now I can't play my song. I was going to play Pause Lama Pause. Yeah.
Perfect song to play, actually. That was going to be exciting. I mean, I love that as an intro.
I'm connected, babe. Like Nila now.
Yes, man. Yes, I love it.
It's still saying connecting. It's still saying connecting. I think we'll give it a minute again to see if you can jump on. Because it would be nice to see you. You know, I think it would be very nice for people to see your face as well.
To see me, yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. Maybe, I don't know what we do. Play the track in the meantime. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here.
But I can't play the track with you joining. The minute I add you to the
live, don't do it then. Don't do it.
Right. Okay. But since everyone can hear you, I think that's so. Let's kick it off. And I just thought about it now, and I'm remembering that the first time I got introduced or knew you was for Redefining Beauty campaign. And this was like all the way back in 2015 on the 9th of August. So it's amazing how we know each other for this long, but we don't really realize that it's been that long. Right? So I want to take it back there. Can you hear me, Tubbs?
Here we go.
Okay. I don't know how much of that did you hear, because it sent me a request to add you again.
Yeah, you were remembering. I heard that you are remembering parts, and that was about it.
Yeah, I was just remembering that you and I got to meet each other through Redefining Beauty campaign. So I
Yes.
want to take it back there. So I wanna ask you, because I've never really asked you. This is our 6th year in the movement, and I've never really asked you this question. So tell me a little bit, what did it feel like on the 9th of August in 2015 to be part of the shoot and to be on that podium and have your picture taken and be part of this, the Redefining Beauty campaign?
I think for me, it was more than just me taking the picture.
I've lost you. Oh, I've lost you, Tabisa. Guys, I don't know. And it's not just me, because I can see on my side it's saying connecting, but I can't hear her anymore. Babe?
I can hear you.
Yeah, so you were still telling me, because I can't, on my side it's saying connecting, and there's a time where it cuts you off. So please go ahead. I think the other people can hear you. If there's trouble with the sound and you can't hear her, please let me know. Hi, Nikki. So go ahead. What did it feel like to be part of the
For
shoot?
me, for me, the ambience was the most important thing. I'm a person that's very aware of the environment, and I'm an energy person. So for me, it was this ambience of all these. Hello. I hope
Okay.
we I hope we're good now. So as I
I
was
hope
saying,
so. I
I was
think,
saying I'm a person that's very aware of the ambience
yeah.
and the environment. So I loved the energy that I was feeding off these women, and I was like looking at them individually, and the little journey with their friends and their little groups, what's going on, and the excitement. And I was like, wow, this is amazing for me. I think that's why it's been 6 years down the line. I stuck to that energy that I grasped there, and I was like,
Yeah.
this is amazing balls. Because I was there with my circle of friends. I was there with my ninjas as well. There were 3 of us, of which
Yeah.
Nori is the one that told us about it. And she was like, guys, we need to go do this. And I was like, oh, okay, let's go. So we did it. And it was a different journey for all 3 of us. But I really loved.
Hi, Innocent. Hi, Tyro. I'm sorry. I don't know if, because I'm only seeing Liseko saying, "Yay! We on."
Yeah. So for me, I don't know. Can you guys hear me?
Give it 2 seconds. Let someone tell us that they can hear or not.
Okay.
It's still doing some sort of connection.
Mm. Someone saying yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I absolutely loved that ambience and energy and the excitement of the ladies and all that flutter and everyone telling their story and how it feels. You could literally see the transformation confidence wise from before and after, during and after the shoot. And wow, I took that away with me. I think that's why I contacted you and I was like, no, I'd like to do something further with the women that were like, look, I give you permission to release these on the website. And I was like, no, I have to do something with them, you know, because that's even more courage. That's a huge step. No one understands. It's a huge step for someone to say, no, you can post my pictures of me wearing my underwear comfortable in my body on the internet, on the website for people to see. That's powerful. When you see someone, they were like, I wonder what am I doing? To, okay, girls, let's do this. To, ooh, look at me. To, oh wow, to post them. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing.
But you're not telling me about you. For you, let's just take it back to you personally. For you coming there, did you come as a very confident and body confident person? And did you have any sort of fears just being on the platform and being photographed?
Strange enough, people would expect me to have confidence because I've got the so-called ideal body according to people, but we all have our, I'm not confident. For example, I feel like, oh, I've got small boobs.
Yeah.
Geez, how am I going to look in this underwear? And I'm not confident about that, you know, like, oh my God, they're so tiny. Look at all these girls with these bras, they're full with all this cleavage, and then like, oh, so there was that. All of us have something that we are not fully confident about within our bodies. Ooh, I've got stretch marks. You know, even though people say, oh, well, you're blessed, even though you have a child, you've got stretch marks in on your bum, they're not in your tummy. I've got stretch marks and they're on my body. And it's like, no. So there is that. So it was empowering for me. And I think the photographer we worked with, your hubby, made us all feel comfortable in our skin. And he triggered the creative side of me. So we got onto this creative shoot of ours. We were like, no, let's add these accessories. No, let's do this. And then, yeah, it became really fun. Really, really fun for me.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that is always highlighted when it comes to Magabane and how comfortable he makes people feel at the shoot. That's really something that has come through with all the shoots that he has been part of. Yeah, it's so interesting. I just want to close before we get to the formalities of the interview that. A lot of the times people make an assumption that when you have a petite body and you're not necessarily what is called fat, you don't have issues. But the reality is that we all have some sort of body issues, right?
That's too true. Society has made us all feel some type of way. I'd like to say that, okay, I'm going to trigger it quickly to mental health quickly. You get people that suffer from bulimia. You get people that suffer from anorexia. And these people, no matter how tiny they are, they still look in the mirror and see themselves as fat. It's a mental disorder triggered by whatever triggered it in that person that comes as trauma. Let's take it back to society. We Black, some of us, I'm sure other races maybe perhaps experience it. For me, all races tell me that, oh my God, you're so skinny. You need to get some meat on those bones. Do you understand? So that's not nice to be made to feel bad about your body. And someone else is looking at you, oh my God, you've got a model body. You see model as a kid. Oh, whatever. You live a perfect life. Oh, I hate these skinny beads. You get a lot of that from the more plus size women. So you're being teased by society, and then you've got plus size women saying, oh, I hate these skinny bees. And that has been said to me a couple of times. It doesn't sit well. you know, I hate skinny. I'm not going to say the B word, but they're like, I hate skinny bees. Look at these skinny bees. I'm like, but wow, I'm also having my own. We are at the opposite ends of the scale, but okusalayo, we don't have the perfect body according to society. It's the size 32, size 34 girl with curves and ass and boobs that has the ideal Barbie doll sort of like body according to society. But even they have issues if they've got a tummy. The tummy's not flat enough. There's always something. There's just always something, which is why you see a lot of women turning to liposuction and plastic surgery and workouts to create the perfect body that society says is the perfect body. And where is that triggered from? It's the patriarchal system, because it's the men that are telling us what our bodies should look like when we are clear about it, honestly speaking. And then we women are ugly towards each other about that.
That's the strange thing, you know. And you're touching on the very essence of why this movement is very important, and why I always insist on it, and why I started it to begin with. There's always this misconception, you know, and there's a war that's going on between us as women. You know, it's the bigger ladies that will body shame the smaller ladies, but also it's also the smaller ladies that are body shaming the bigger women. We need to get together. We need to realize that we are fighting the same war, and that we do not need to be pelting each other with stones, but we need to be using the stones to build each other. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, and it's the same thing that's going with the conditioning of the color complexes, that the yellow bones are really being subjected to a lot of abuse from us dark-skinned ladies and the darker-skinned ladies, because again, men have painted them out as the perfect woman to be yellow bone. Everything revolves around them. Some love the stereotype, and you know, they grasp it that I am everything. And you get such girls having ugly personalities because just by virtue of their physical appearance of being yellow bone with the perfect body, everything drops. Men are aspiring to have high careers so that they can get these women, and then they dump the girls who were there with them during the struggle. They're like, no, you no longer fit the criteria of where I am. You're going to remind me of my poverty and where I come from. No, now I need a girl that's going to match where I am right now, is words you hear from men. I've actually saw a thread about that, and men were discussing that. But no, the reason why we're no longer with the girls that we were with during the struggle and is because they will constantly remind you of the struggle. Now you need a girl that matches where I am right now, what I was aspiring and sweating and studying for. So it's body.
That's a topic on its own. But let's get to the core of this conversation. We're meant to be talking about mental health, right? So I wanted to first find out from you, before we get to discussing mental health and beauty. Let's talk about what's currently happening in the world globally. The pandemic, you know, COVID-19 is a thing. We are currently on lockdown level 3. Yes. So tell me a little bit about how are you coping with being under lockdown? Have you created a normality of some sort?
Well, for me, I think the thing that helped me is I have my niece and I have my granddaughter. So we tried to do homeschooling when the lockdown was really hectic. So when we established, we were like, nah, I'll take on our granddaughter because that's more challenging. She's about 3 years old, my niece's daughter. And then my older sister took on our niece, our brother's daughter, who's in grade 7. So for me, that I do have experience with working with kids. I worked at a creche like twice with toddlers, the potty training age, so her age exactly. So creating a little Curo classroom in the house for her has kept me at bay, you know. So each time she wakes up in the morning, she's excited with what are we doing today? Are we painting? What on earth are we doing? So it's creating that whole learner environment for her, as well as you know me in the kitchen, sacred space.
Exciting. That sounds very exciting, right?
Sacred space is the kitchen, and in general, keeping working, finding opportunities for the artists, collaborations, and I've started writing again, poetry, and as a coping mechanism, as an emotional outlet. Again, I'm painting as well. When my granddaughter is painting there, I'm doing my own abstract painting as an emotional outlet. So I found emotional outlets to keep me busy, very busy.
That's good. That's good. But now I know that a spanner was thrown in there. Your life got your life got shaken a little bit.
Yay!
You contracted the virus.
In the works.
Do you want to share a little bit about your experience with being?
My God, I was one of the. Yeah, so I was one of the very at home. I think they sort of found me paranoid because lockdown found me at home in Durban because my sister had gotten sick and admitted in hospital. So I came to Durban on the 22nd of March, I think. So when lockdown happened, I was already this side. So I'm not sure if I contracted it going to visit her before the actual lockdown happened in hospital, or I contracted it shopping, because you know when you're shopping, we're touching vegetables. Everyone is just touching different vegetables and fruits and putting in pockets at the market or at Food Lovers. So for me, I was astonished and confused as to where in the world I got this from. But I remember collapsing. And we're like, oh, low blood pressure again, because I have low blood pressure. And it was the second time within a space of 2 weeks. So my niece was like, no, we need to get you to hospital. We can't be playing this game with you. Especially since I isolated myself on that Monday because my throat was groggy. I was like, guys, my throat is groggy and I'm feeling weak. So I'm going to isolate myself. And the family let me be. And what happened is they came to peek at me at some point, but they let me be. On the Wednesday, I was going to try and grab supper in the lounge, you know, take a young walk because I've been stuck in the house. And strangely enough, that's where I collapsed. And I was rushed to hospital. I was taken to high care. The questions they asked me, though, didn't have anything to do with COVID. They were strange questions. It wasn't symptom questions. So that happened, and they took me to high care. And then I said at high care during the questionnaire that they give you when they're admitting you, I was like, guys, my throat is groggy. So off they did rush me off to the ward for testing eventually. And the first test came back negative. Yeah. And then we did another, okay, so they looked at me for about a week and they're like, no, we're not picking up what's wrong with you exactly. So they didn't, and they were about to let me go home. And I woke up this morning, the day I was supposed to go home, and I said, doctor, my chest feels funny. It's tight. And they're like, oh dear, we need to do another test. So that's exactly what they did. And that came back positive. Now I've been
feeling like, what were you feeling like at that very moment when you're told that you're supposed to go home, but now you're told that you've just tested positive for COVID-19?
You know, for me, it was two things. We're dealing with it with a virus that we don't know much about. I'd rather be in a safe space with professionals handling it than go back home and it turns out I'm positive, then what? And I'm obvious to this, and I'm thinking, ooh, I've got flu or something, and then, ooh, I become a statistic. So for me, it was relief that, whew, thank God we picked this up while I'm still in here. And then, oh my God, what in the world am I going to be facing now? And I thought that's the hardest part, but no, that wasn't the hardest part. That was the hardest.
How long were you in hospital? How long? How many days?
The hardest part was now having to tell my family what's going on with me. And I was engaged at that time. My fiance cried. The father of my child was shocked. My family tried to act tough, but you could see that, especially via video calls. And I insisted, my son was in Joburg quarantining with his dad. So I insisted to his dad that don't tell him. Do not dare tell our son what's going on with me. It's going to freak him out. He's very sensitive when it comes to me. And just be firm that he does his schoolwork, because now, you know, he needs to do his work and look after himself. But be very kind to him at the same time, because I can't be there to intervene when you guys do your manly stuff and you get on each other's throats. So those are the instructions that I gave him. and they kept on checking up on me. And my then fiance was a great support structure. So was my family. So I had a good support structure, but telling them was tough in the way they were handling it. Yeah, it was worse than me knowing it. That was the toughest part, actually speaking. So I understand that people that get these serious chronic illnesses, the tough part is actually telling your family. It's difficult.
Right.
I now understand and appreciate that. There's that stress and struggle.
Right. But now you are sounding like you are handling the whole situation just fine. And I see Amanda is asking a question. Amanda is saying, how did you handle their reaction when you told them, especially your son, when you eventually told him? Because you
Oh
sound like
no.
you were on top of things. Other
I
people were
made
panicking.
I made sure the father of my child doesn't tell my son. My son recently found out that I had COVID-19. I did
Okay.
not want him told that. I said, don't
Okay.
tell my son that I'm in hospital with this. Don't do that. You're gonna stress him. I don't
Okay.
want him being stressed. So he didn't know. It's my family members, the rest of them that knew, and the father of my child and some of my friends. I carefully picked who to tell, and yeah, and then my then fiance as well. He knew as well. Yeah.
Okay. So now, you never said how long were you in hospital, and were you only
3 weeks.
released
3 weeks
3 weeks? That's 21
because
days.
yeah, because it's that 1 week, remember, where I was in the testing ward and they were trying to figure out what's wrong with me. Mind you, the testing ward operates exactly like the COVID-19 ward. You're in isolation. People are coming in, all you see are their eyes, and sometimes they've got these glasses they wear, these welding looking like glasses that they wear to protect themselves. They
Also,
covered.
they're covered. They're covered
They
head to toe.
are covered with disposable stuff. So each time they come, you can press the buzzer, because I was in a private hospital. You can press the buzzer 5 times within a space of 10 minutes. Each time they come, they need to put on something new. When they leave, they remove it and dispose it in the bin inside the ward before they go out.
That
You
sounds
can buzz
hectic.
again. You can buzz again in 10 minutes. They're gonna wear the protective gear again, and then come in, attend to you, and then take off and throw it in the bin before they leave. It is very intense for the health workers. No one understands the
That sounds
struggle.
hectic. Hmm.
And then they're also facing what's the word, stigma from normal, the girl who uses, or the guy working as a health worker who uses public transport. So
Yeah.
people see them in the taxi, it's like, whoa, or they're seeing COVID because they work in hospitals. It's
You know you are highlighting something very important here, but I will not get into it. We don't have much compassion and respect for healthcare workers. Just detailing what you're saying, the situation is just as traumatic for them as it is for you, the person that's a patient, right?
it's intense, and I commend them to be able to be calm and kind and professional. Even
Yeah,
though you can see the fear, you see it in the little things that they do. That,
yeah,
ooh, no, there's fear and paranoia here. But they try to be calm and compassionate for you. So they're
yeah.
taking their job seriously. I do not know what was happening in public hospitals. I can't comment for that. I know what was happening in the hospital. And mind you, they're receiving stigmatization from their fellow co-workers. Example, maintenance, example, kitchen staff, because they were not allowed to go out and get food. But now,
Right.
funny thing is, they will bring them sandwiches in one plate and just leave it outside because they're too scared to go into the ward. That's not nice treatment. It's so stigmatization from people outside, stigmatization from your co-workers because you work in the COVID-19 ward.
Sure, that's something that's new for me. I haven't had insight on that. Thank you very much. But let's move on to this topic, right? I'm also
Mm-hmm.
very interested in learning more and talking more about mental health, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you are an abuse and mental health activist, right?
Yes.
That's what you do on a normal. I
Yeah.
want you to tell me and tell everyone that's listening, what is it about, what about mental illness that we don't know, that we ought to know?
Oh, it's a very dark place to be
Mm,
at. It's a very dark journey and space to be in. Um, especially with me, I have a history with both depression and anxiety. To panic so much that you are not even able to breathe is scary. You understand? To have so much fear in terms of the depression and sink so low that it's just it messes with your health, it messes with your breathing. It's a mental wall. That's the best way I can describe it. It is a mental wall. I actually have an article that I wrote on my blog titled Mental Wall, where I dig deeper into describing exactly what mental health is about. It's a constant war to live or not to live, and these voices telling you that your life will be better off if you actually just not alive, actually, because every single person who has mental health issues, especially your depressions, all they want is peace.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing to them. Like, you guys, money can be everything. The biggest thing to a person that's struggling with mental health is peace. They lack peace. All they want is peace. So that's why people kill themselves, because they think they're like, I'll be at peace if I'm dead. There's this voice that says, you'll
Can
be at
I ask a
peace.
question? Can I ask a
Yeah.
question just on that? So I'm listening to you, and you're saying that people that suffer from that have mental health issues, especially depressed people, all they want is peace. But how do
Yes.
we help them? How do I help someone that has mental health issues? And when you're talking that the one thing they want is peace, how do we help as people?
It's really difficult, because this person has issues, internal issues that they need to deal with, and they are not, most of them were not able to talk about. So a trustworthy source to be able to be an outlet too, and patience and understanding that it becomes an emotional roller coaster. The moods, the best way to help is to be able to identify that this person is depressed, and try to go out of their way to get them help in the form of therapy. Therapy is important, because now there's different exercises that people are going to know. So a combination of therapy and a person who's been there are very critical things, because the person who's been there or is there understands this journey. They understand what this person is going through and what's happening. So it requires patience and understanding, and having to realize that this person is not going to act normally. So you don't go there and be judgmental, because are you mad? Who does that?
Right.
They're not operating at the normal capacity that you are.
Yeah, I want to read something here. I see billionaire DK is agreeing with you, and she's saying true, and that she's saying that she's recovered from depression. Thank you for that comment. So now, is it a good idea to force someone that is depressed into talking?
Oh no, forcing, no. That's why I'm saying that create a safe environment for
Right?
them, whereby they feel like they can trust you and get to a point where they can talk to you, because we study people very well. We sit there and we study this person, and we're like, if I had to tell this one this, it's over. It's going to spread like a fire,
Okay.
and this is my business. Or they're going to judge me and say this and this and this, because our community, especially our Black community, mental health issues do not exist. It's taboo. It's some rich people or white people's disease. We don't have the luxury to be depressed, is what we say
Yeah.
as a
And that's still
community.
so sad. That's still so sad
And
that
it's very
still,
untrue.
it
That's
is
why you
very
find a lot of,
untrue.
that's why you find a lot of white folks and a lot of rich folks in mental facilities, and you find a lot of Black folks crazy on the street.
Yeah.
Because if
So
left unattended, you are going to go to the crazy space.
yeah, I'm always saying that we don't talk enough about mental health. Anyway, there's another comment here that I want to read by DK. She's saying therapy is not a week or a day, and it may be lifelong.
That is true, because what therapy does is it helps you go in and face your demons one by one, because sometimes they're in your subconscious mind. So it picks at it, it picks at it, it picks at it, it figures you out, it picks at it until it triggers and triggers. That's why when you start therapy, it's very dangerous to stop, because they would have brought out demons that you had put away, and now you won't be able to handle it well. And then you can be a danger to yourself and other people. So once you start it, you continue with it.
You have to,
because some people run away. It's tough. They want to run away because now you're bringing out the pain that I had chosen to forget, or I had tried to tell people and they didn't believe me what happened to me. So to be honest with you, in terms of my, I had no clue when I started being depressed, but I'm sure I started being depressed from a very young age. I've actually thought about it, because with me, I was molested at 5 by our neighbor's oldest son. I was molested again at, I think, about 10, 11 by the local postman. And then at some point within my 20s, I was actually raped by an ex. So there's all of that. And then on top of that, I've always had this, they call it indigo children, like people thought would know fang twice, because I could see stuff that other people can't see. I could sense stuff that other people can't sense. That alone is a lot. It's a lot. If you ask people that are gifted, they will tell you it's a lot. It's a lot. And then on top of that, I had these experiences that I've had. One of the most important things, 2 things that I was told by my different therapists. One said I need to learn to respect what I've gone through, because I don't respect it.
Okay.
I take it lightly. I don't respect what I've gone through. Perhaps it's to do with denial to a certain extent. I don't know what you were saying, but you said I need to learn to respect it, to look at it and acknowledge it. You've been through a lot. Okay, now let's assess it. And I think it's an important line to tell most people that are depressed. You need to learn to respect what you've gone through, because sometimes people will make it seem like it's nothing. No, it is something. It's big for you. It triggered the trauma. So it's big. Respect what you have gone through, because we have this habit of life goes on, I have to be strong. Life goes on, I have to be strong. So with me, where I remember trying to commit suicide when I was younger, it shocked my mom. She was like, wow, you are cruel. How does a child think, what is going on? She was shocked. She was beyond shocked. I had to get taken to hospital. They had to pump out pills from my stomach. And then the next time where I knew that it's really rough was when my son was still a baby. I had some argument with his dad, and it triggered a whole lot of things. So it takes one little stupid thing to push you right over the edge. That was my next suicidal attempt. You would think that no one is going to try to kill themselves when they were a beautiful baby boy that they fought so hard to have through a miscarriage and difficult pregnancy. But depression is depression. We want peace. So
I
by
understand.
all means necessary.
I hear that. There's a comment here. There's a comment here by Amanda Madinga, and she's saying that mental issues don't exist among Black people. That's what we grew up being told, and that's quite sad. That's quite sad if you ask me. Okay, let's move on with the questions, right? But I wanna sort of summarize and ask you a personal question, just as you've shared your journey now. Are you at a point in your life now where you I don't know what the term would be, are you on top of things? You have accepted, are you still in therapy? Is this what DK was saying, or is this a lifelong thing that you live?
It's a journey. The thing is to check yourself. There will constantly be triggers. So you need to have awareness. And that's what I like teaching people, that I do help. Awareness. Internal introspection awareness and external awareness around you. If you have awareness, then you can sense that, I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Then you seek help.
You should always be checking your own pulse, sort of thing.
You need to. For me, I remember the first time it was triggered by some racial violence that happened to me. Which year was it? Is it 2018? And I ended up having a seizure, and I hadn't had a seizure in a long time. Oh no, I went to open a case at the police station, and then I was told to go complete the J88 form. While in hospital waiting for that, I had a seizure. I was like, okay. Next thing, I'm admitted, and so they brought the psychiatrist for me, and I got home, and my anxiety levels were just up there. He consulted with me via phone, and he said to me, don't you feel tired? Are you not tired or exhausted? And those are common words to me, because I remember my mom passed on in December. We were doing a 60th birthday party for her, and I had to give birth in January, so I couldn't mourn her. The thing is, you're gonna cry, and these rural old tannies and grannies are gonna be telling you that you're gonna lose your child if you cry, and they don't know that you had a miscarriage before this child. You're not trying to lose no child, so you go into robot mode. You operate like a robot. You're emotionless. You're just planning a funeral and all of that. You're identifying bodies, and life carries on. So I remember my gynae saying to me once, my then ex-fiance said to him, which is the father of my child, this is what just happened. He was like, are you not tired? Are you not exhausted? And I was like, I'm exhausted. And then he was like, we're inducing you and you're going to give birth. So now here again, the psychiatrist is like, are you not tired? Are you not exhausted? Again, I'm exhausted. He was like, I have a plan. And that's when he made a booking for me to go into a clinic, a private clinic that deals with specifically a psychiatric clinic. So that year, I was sent to the clinic. The following year, when something overwhelmed me, I phoned and said, I need to come in, packed my own bag and dragged it to the clinic.
Okay.
Now, that's the power of awareness, whereby you're like, oh, I need to check myself. I'm becoming overwhelmed now, as opposed to being taken by an ambulance or dragged to one. That's where awareness is important, whereby
is very important.
I need to make an appointment with my lentuza, with my psychiatrist, the psychologist. I need to go into group therapy so that I can hear others. It's more effective. Group therapy is powerful, actually. I prefer more to one-on-ones, because you're hearing other stories and other people's journeys, and some are like yours, so it makes you delve in and you're picking up things that you aren't necessarily picking up for your own journey. It's powerful. It's really powerful.
Can I throw in something else in there? So I'm listening to you, right? And this conversation is more around not just mental health, but it's mental health alongside beauty. And with everything that you're saying and everything that you're going through, I'm imagining now you're fighting all these other battles. Now that then there's the issue of beauty. And you know, most women don't realize that even their issues with beauty, they stuck in the mind. You already talked about the mental struggle that we all go through. But now, can you tie it up in there? You know, because people don't even see the mental struggle that is involved in beauty, or the image of beauty, or beauty stereotypes. So can you tie it up with what you've just said?
Let me shock you for a second.
Yeah.
And tell you, it's the really confident ones that seemingly look confident and arrogant and cocky that are really going through it. Because you sit there and you're like, there's different coping mechanisms. For my mama told me that they must never see your struggle or your pain. It must be never written on your forehead. Never look like your struggle or your pain.
Right.
That's what my mom taught me. And that's how she was. I had never seen that woman cry until she was sick. All my life, I'd never seen her cry. So she impacted me onto how I'm going to be. So I never cried. It was like, nah, it's too weak to cry. No, we don't do this. Let's find solutions. Let's go. Let's go. You know those chicks, those confident ones. Let's go. Next, no, you're wasting my time. I don't have time for you. You're being a pet. I'm not going to waste my time with no petty men. Next, let's go. A lot of issues there. More than the vulnerable one. More than the vulnerable one. Those put together chicks. A lot of issues there, because it's a matter of poker face. We're doing the poker face. We're good at poker face. That's why they always say, always check on your strong friends. They're not joking.
Yeah, that term I've heard it said. Always check on your strongest friends, because we are taught to put on a brave face. You know, it's amazing that a lot of us, it's our mothers that teach us that no, put up a show. Don't show people that you're crying. Wipe your tears. Chin up. There's no need to be telling people. There's no need for you to wear your struggle on your face. And that's to some level that's toxic, don't you think?
But that's the coping mechanism that they had due to the patriarchal system now. That's why it's such sayings as Musadu Twara Tipa, you know that one, yes, that's why when you're about to get married and you listen to all those aunties and the advice they give you, because they know it's about to hit the ceiling for you. Be happy on the wedding day. It's about to hit the ceiling for you. Brace yourself. Right? They know. Let
me just read a few of the comments to include the people that are watching. Right. UDK is saying it's a journey. Mindfulness exercises are important. Amanda is saying you are absolutely right. Sekho is saying your statement is so true. Amanda is saying it takes a lot of energy to fake perfection. Oh, that's a powerful one. It takes a lot of energy to fake perfection. Okay. Before we run out of time, we have about 5 minutes left to this.
Oh wow!
Yeah, time flies when you're having a deep discussion. And yeah, I must say I'm learning a lot. I must say there's a lot that I'm now considering, and we need to delve deep into these conversations and the mental state, Sabat, and how perceptions that are pushed either by the patriarchal system or the media is affecting us. You know, it's adding to the burden that we already have. You know,
and the trauma itself, the trauma of being sexually abused or raped or molested, fascinating. I always have conversations with women about this, and I've noted three things that happen. There's 3 groups that women tend to fall under who've experienced trauma that is sexual, rape. They either go under that whole is life phase. They're like, whatever, I need to own my body. It's a struggle, a yearn to own your body back, and they go about it the wrong way, because for them it's like, I'm damaged already. They damaged me already. Might as well carry on. And then you get the ones that go, I don't trust men. I feel safer with the same gender, and they will go with the same gender as them. They understand. And then you get the ones, that's why you get a lot of people that even were divorced at some point or hurt by someone that end up going into same-sex relationships. And then there's a third one, the one I fall under, the addicts. The addicts are also into 2. There's the addict who's going to be like the whole is life phase, like that one. The addicts, like whoever, whenever, whatever. If I want to sleep with someone, I will, whoever, whenever, however. And then there's the one that I fall under, that's addict, but with one particular partner, but an addict. I was, and I think I still am, I've just learned to control it very well, a sex addict within a relationship. So there's always scars that come out of these things. And then you're like, oh no, she's empowering herself, she's owning her own body. It's a cry out for help. Let's listen to it. Let's zone in.
Let's listen to it, right?
Let's zone in.
I don't wanna have this live be cut short by the platform. So I wanna finish off this conversation. Amanda is saying we need to have round 2 of this, and I agree with her, right, Tabisa?
I agree as well.
Let's just finish it off. In closing, Nje, if people don't already know, that on the call is that you are an official Redefining Beauty ambassador, right? So
Yeah, I am.
so just in closing, as an ambassador of the movement, what message do you have to the ladies who would want to join or who should join the movement, right?
Mhm.
And what message do you have to the gents that might be listening or just observing from outside, wanting to know more about beauty and mental health?
Let's start with the gents.
Okay.
Be kind to every woman. Their journey is different.
Yes.
Let's make intimacy more about just the physical act. Intimacy is being able to be yourself around a person, to strip
Yeah.
naked and bare your soul and be safe. That's more intimate than just the physical act. Can
Yeah.
men learn to be safe zones for women? Can you
Pause.
be
Pause.
protected? Yeah.
Can men learn to be safe spaces for women? Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Go on.
Yes. Be protective of your sister, be protective of your mom, be protective of your aunt, be protective of your daughter, be protective of your niece. Teach them about your fellow species, because if they learn wisdom from you when they go out into the world, they're ready. That's one thing I appreciate from my brother. He didn't verbally teach me. I observed him bringing different women into the house and saying the same thing to them. I was like, oh, this is men. So by the time I started dating, you can imagine I was a problem. I operated like a guy, actually. I used to get bored easily and move on to the next one. Not the healthiest of things. And then now, mom is a single parent and she's slaying it. She's killing it. We are more well off than families with two people. So I grew up with the mentality of what the hell is the use of a man? Gosh, not the greatest to have, but it gave me confidence to be fine to a certain extent. It worked for me at that point in time until I had to reach a place where I had to learn what is the role of a man, which I learned in now by observing his parents. I'm like, ooh, the role of the dad, it's the role of the mom. So I learned in my own way. Back to women.
Yeah.
Oh man, be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself.
Be kind to yourself.
Beauty starts from the mind. Let go of all those chains. Forgive. You will never always get an apology. You can get excuses. You can get gaslighted. You will get gaslighted, especially if you have mental health issues. They will name you just to avoid the fact that they did you wrong. Do not allow a man to gaslight you. Even if you've got issues, don't allow them. Oh, well, I cheated, but your character. That's why I stepped back from you, because of your character. It's you that made me do this. Don't allow narcissists to gaslight you. Own yourself and know yourself and call that person out, and love yourself internally and externally as you are.
Right.
It takes a journey with yourself that you are able to look at yourself in the mirror confidently each morning. Once you reach that point, you are well on your way to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and say, this is me, and I'm fine the way I am. This is what I love about myself. This is what I don't like about myself. This is what I need to work on myself. You know, that have introspection is important, because we are all flawed somehow. Because I'm not going to tell you to love yourself and now not be aware of your flaws. People are going to find you as an ugly person, and that's going to depress you further.